Hi, this is Mark with RawNutrition.com. In this video, I'll be comparing the Hurom Elite Slow Juicer with the Breville Juice Fountain Elite. So two very different juicers that produce juice in a very different way. So to start, I'm going to discuss a little bit the difference between the two juicers. So the Hurom is a slow turning juicer. It turns at 43 revolutions per minute. Juice is obtained through the process of crushing, you could say masticating, squeezing, and pressing the juice out through a fine hole screen. So this juicer is assembled with a single auger like this here. It goes right inside the screen, and then you have a cleaning brush around it. So you just put all this together, and that goes into your juicer. Everything will get crushed. You got the pulp that comes out here and the juice out the front. And there's a pulp control lever that I have set at the juice position. This is the position that squeezes the most juice out. So this juicer is pretty easy to assemble, also easy to clean. When you're done, you can close the juice cap, fill it with water, let it run a couple minutes, or a couple seconds I should say, and then flush it out. So that will help remove most of the pulp inside, and for cleaning then you really just have your screen to brush. So slow turning, more quiet type juicer. Both of these are vertical juicers, so just horizontally push everything in. I can compare, well, I'll talk about this when I come over here. The Breville Juice Fountain Elite is a centrifuge juicer. So it processes juice basically through high speed. This juicer turns at maximum speed is 10,000 revolutions per minute. Everything is processed, like you put your apples in, it'll get grated here with these blades into a pulp. That pulp is then, through centrifugal force, pushed up against the screen, and the juice comes out on each side. The screen is very fine, so a juice made with this will have very little pulp in it because it all has to go through the screen to come out the juice spout. So this juicer is quick, definitely fast acting, loud because it is turning fast at 10,000 revolutions per minute. So everything is spun out here, the pulp comes out, the juice outlet here in front. So you have the juice outlet, and at the back you've got a big large pulp container where all the pulp will be coming in. And you may say, wow, it's quite a difference in size. Well, these tend, because this one is slow and it's crushing, the pulp's coming out very compact. This one here is coming out very airy, so the pulp needs more volume, will occupy more volume even for the same amount of vegetables. So let me assemble these two juicers, and what I did want to show was the feed chute. So very different between these two models. The Breville has a large 3-inch feed chute, and as you can see here with the Hurom Elite, the feed chute is much smaller. This one each has little tabs on the side. I know this is about 2 1/4, so I'd say it's a little less than 2 inches and about 1 3/4 inches, so it's definitely much smaller. Assemble these two, make sure they're well assembled, especially the Breville. You want to make sure at 10,000 revolutions your juicer's all set up. So even though this chute is 3-inch, I can't actually get these apples in there. These are not really large apples, but I will have to cut them to fit them into the large 3-inch chute. So to get started, I will use the Hurom Elite first. I'll prepare my 4 apples. So basically I've got on each side 4 Royal Gala apples. These are hard, firm flesh apples. You'll find these the best for yielding the most juice, whichever juicer you're using. So let me cut these up so I can juice them in the Hurom Elite. Now this Elite juicer is the model SBB11, the HH model from Hurom. Okay, perfect, so now I'm ready to start juicing with the Hurom Elite. And this is pretty much a self-feeding juicer. If your pieces aren't too big, you won't really need to use your pusher. And the juicer's just going to slowly crush and squeeze that juice. I'll move this over so you can see the juice. Sometimes you may need to apply a little bit of pressure if the apple was a bit too tight in the tube here, like this one, but not very hard. You don't want to push hard and make your juicer stop. Remember, these are turning at 43 revolutions per minute. So they want to ensure your apples are cut to size. The smaller the pieces, the easier it's going to be producing because you can just drop them in. You won't have to push them in. We're starting to see the pulp, and as I mentioned, I have it all the way at the full closed position, maintaining the most pressure and retaining the most amount of juice. They do need sometimes to push, especially in this case as some of these pieces are just a bit too tight. Other than that, the auger really just pulls and takes everything in. So you will find the process to juice these 4 apples will definitely be slower with the Hurom slow juicer than juicing with the Elite. If my pieces drop right in, the auger will just take them out. That's it. So those are the 4 apples. The Royal Gala. We're starting to see a nice amount of juice here. Got pretty much 550 milliliters or just about 20 ounces of juice, and that's not counting the foam that's on the top. So we'll let this juicer sit, and on this side we're going to start with the Breville. Again, I mentioned because of the 3-inch feed chute, these apples are still a little too big, so I'm going to have to cut them anyways. So I'll go ahead and cut these and prepare them. I'll just cut them into like thirds to get them to fit in the juicer. Okay, perfect. So I've got my apples already cut up and ready to go. So again, I did it in thirds so I could get them in. Now this juicer turns really fast. You want to have your pusher ready to put on top, because as you drop things in, they will bounce around. You may get sprayed with some juice. So you want to have your pusher right on top of there and just feed. You see it's very quick. I can push down on each one. The blades are going to cut that down into a fine pulp really quickly. So it's a fast process, a little loud, so I won't be talking during juicing with this juicer. And I'll put one in and let's get started. Okay, that was pretty loud. Now we're done. Let's see what this amount of juice shows on this side. You're definitely seeing a lot more foam. I'm only seeing about 400 milliliters, about 15 or 16 ounces of juice, and a lot more foam produced with the Elite Juice Fountain Elite. As far as the texture, this one definitely seems to have brought out a pinkish color from the skins, so it seems to be getting a little more of the color out of the skins. It will also turn. This one's I juiced first, so it started turning brown. So that's pretty much our yield, and you can see the separation that happens with a centrifuge juicer, and that's really because of the process. The centrifuge process kind of has a separation that will form, and you'll see this will become more evident as the juice sits. with a juicer like this, because of the slow crushing and pressing process, the juicer does sit more homogenized, or the juice from it does sit more homogenized for a while, and eventually it'll start to separate also, but not as clearly as the one from the Breville. Now let's try these out. Now there's a bit of foam here on the top. I'll just put my knife, keep some foam out of my juice. The Breville cup does have a foam plate here inside to keep the foam out as I pour. So we definitely have a clearer juice and definitely more the color of the skin. This is more like an old-fashioned type pressing. Let's try these out and see the flavor. This is the apple juice like say your grandparents used to make. Typically what you'll find in a health food store, old press from usually these large apple presses where apples are crushed with big turning wheels pressing down and the juice is pushed out. This here will be more reminiscent of a factory processed apple juice, like clear apple juice you'll find in grocery stores in pasteurized containers. Unfortunately, very little flavor. This one is very flavorful. And it's still cold. The apples were cool before processing. This one here, unfortunately, I'm searching for the flavor. Where did it go? I much prefer, sorry, for Breville here, but this one's much more tasty. This tastes like apples. This one, unfortunately, lost that flavor. Now let's look at the pulp. Oh, wow. Shouldn't say I'm surprised, but that's the pulp from our Breville juicer and the pulp from the Hurom juicer. Now look at the difference. This is just crushed apple peel and apple fiber. Here, I still got skin, apple pieces. Wow. A lot of my apple just went through, just right through. So still a fair bit of material here that we could juice from. So in this taste test and in this demonstration, definitely you do see with the slow juicer you're getting more juice. You're getting juice that doesn't separate. You're getting juice that's more wholesome in my opinion. The whole apple pressed, you're not losing parts of it. Everything got squeezed. You know, with the Breville, definitely it went and picked up the color because some of that skin did get grinded with the cutting blade inside. So you do pick up some of the pink color, reddish color from the skin. But unfortunately in this pulp there's lots of pieces and the pulp is actually still moist and I'm able to squeeze a lot of juice. So look at this. There's a fair bit of juice coming out still in the pulp from the centrifuge juicer and our Hurom Elite. I am not getting any pulp, or any juice, I should say. No juice. So, my personal preference will be the Hurom Elite in this demonstration. While the centrifuge may have its positive attributes in juicing apples, unless you want a clear apple juice that doesn't have much flavor, you could use a Breville. And if you want a more wholesome, full color and full flavor juice, the Hurom Elite definitely beats out in this demonstration and taste. Well, again, this is Mark with RawNutrition.com. Be sure to check us out online for the best quality kitchen tools and subscribe to our videos here on YouTube for more product demonstrations. bye.